We're at the National Museum of the Air Force in Dayton, Ohio, near Wright-Patterson Air Force Base. And this is the Space and Experimental Gallery, one of several galleries, one of 5 or 4 galleries here at the museum. And I want to show you some of what's in this incredible gallery. Every one of these galleries is amazing, but take a look at this. Now, first of all, one of the things that dominates the space in this gallery is the Xb70 Valkyrie. But I want to show you some of the small things that are around the corner here. Now, if you come around the corner here and take a look, there's a display right there of the capsule that carried Joe Kittinger into extremely high altitude, over 100,000 feet, for the highest parachute jump ever made. And that record was established a number of years ago, and it was recently broken by one of the Red Bull Extreme athletes. But that's the capsule that he used on one of the initial super high altitude parachute jumps from above 100,000 feet. There's tons of little interesting details here. One of them down there on the floor, that white missile that has that brown nose cone on it, that's an ASAT. It's an anti-satellite missile that was launched from an F-15 Eagle. It flew into space and used kinetic energy. It didn't carry a warhead. It used kinetic energy to hit and destroy a satellite in orbit. So that was an early project that was never adopted. And then when you look out onto the gallery here, down there on the floor, there's an Apollo space capsule, there's a Mercury space capsule, there's 2 different versions of the X-24B lifting body, which was an experimental lifting body that was dropped from an NB-52 aircraft. And on the inside of that, I just recently wrote an article for the aviationist.com about the D-21 hypersonic drone that was launched from an SR-71. There's a D-21 back there. It's that flat black object. And then the thing you see most prominently up there is the Xb70 Valkyrie, built by North American Aviation. Only 2 of them were built. One of them crashed tragically in a mid-air collision out over the western United States near Edwards Air Force Base in Barstow, California. This is the only surviving Xb70 Valkyrie in the world. Across the bottom there's some keyhole reconnaissance satellites that have been a big part of American intelligence gathering since the space program began. And then probably one of the most exciting displays in here, on the ground right there, is the fastest airplane in the world. That's the X-15 that was flown by Pete Knight to Mach 6.7. Now, when Pete Knight set that speed record, that X-15 actually had this kind of milky white ablative heat absorbing coating on it, and it's been repainted into the black color scheme that was most commonly used on X-15s, but it does have the 2 big hydrogen fuel tanks on there, and it's a spectacular display. You know, it's exciting just to stand next to that plane, and to this day that Mach 6.7 speed record still holds. On the other side of that is another interesting plane. This place is full of incredible airplanes. There's a Yf-12a Interceptor. Some people may think that that's an SR-71. It isn't. They do have an SR-71 here. It's in one of the other galleries. But that's the very rare Interceptor version of the SR-71. Every place you go in here, there's fascinating things to see. You can't go more than 5 feet without finding some kind of remarkable aviation treasure or some part of aviation history. It's one of the most fascinating museums in the world. This is the newest wing. It was just opened 2 years ago. It's the first time we've ever been here. It's absolutely incredible. I'm Tom Demerly for the aviationist.com.